All right, so here's what we're going to do this week. We're going to take the ugliest possible game on paper, and then we're going to bet it. We all know there's no such thing as a perfect parlay. It does make for a great title, though. However, there is a perfect process, and that has to do with shopping the odds. Make sure that you're never missing out on any value available, taking advantage of all of the boosts when they're given to you, and then piecing it all together. Let the results be what they may. We're going to put ourselves in a position each and every week for when we do win to make every single cent possible out of those parlays. And I got some good ones for you guys today. Glad you could join me. So before we get into it, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you appreciate this content, and of course, follow me at Loughy over on Twitter if you enjoy talking football. Let's get into it. First and foremost, we go with a three-leg parlay. You guys know how this works. And then we get into a ladder play. A lot of plays have done well. Look, at the very least, they haven't all hit the top rung. But we got to the 60-plus on Jameson Williams last week. The previous week, we got to 60 out of 70 on Jalen Noel, and we hit the 100-plus at 10-1 on Jordan Addison on the first time we did this video 3 weeks ago. The parlays have been busted up by spots that, my God, the Detroit Lions last week. Quinshon Judkins, we had the touchdowns. We had the under on Dylan Gabriel. We needed the 100. He got to 84 after having 78 at halftime. But we go back to the well on a different game. We hit the same game parlay streets, and one that may appear to be pretty ugly to all of you, but I find this to be a pretty fascinating spot if we're being completely honest. And this is the New Orleans Saints on the road against the Carolina Panthers. Why? Well, there's a lot of question marks now. Rashid Shaheed is gone. Tyler Shuck is starting. Spencer Rattler's on the bench. And Rico Dowdle, assuming he's good to go, and it appears he will be, is going to get the lion's share, or at least should get the lion's share of touches after out-touching Chuba Hubbard 27-5 last week. Would have been more, honestly, would have been more had he not gone into the medical tent with that quad injury after that run. He did come back. So here's what I want to do. We're going to do a three-leg same-game parlay here. And I'm going to structure it to where the correlation doesn't hit us because, well, certain sports books, if you take an over for one receiver on the same team and an under for the other receiver, they're not going to bake in any correlation there, not to the nearest extent they would if you're taking the overs on both of them. Because they kind of look at it, these correlation algorithms, at least from everything I've ever seen, they look at it as like a rising tide lifts all ships thing, right? So if you want the over here, you want the over here because there's going to be more passing yards. I see it a little bit differently here. So we're going to start with Chris Olave under 60.5 yards. I bet this one on Bet365. I got the whole parlay to pretty solid odds at 5-1, better than any of the other books, and I'll show you in a second. But I want Olave under 60.5. Now, I think naturally, most people are going to go, yeah, but Dave, Rashid Shaheed is gone. Who the hell's Tyler Shuck going to throw to? And I'd say precisely because last week, well, Rashid Shaheed got 9 targets, Olave got 4, and they got their asses kicked in LA. But what about the fact, right, that J.C. Horn's one of the best corners in the league. This dude's a shutdown corner. He does have the ability to erase opposing wide receivers. So if you're going into this matchup, why in the world, and look, maybe I'm wrong here. I'm always liable to be wrong, especially when we're betting 5-1 same game parlays. Why would you not say, let's just take Olave out of the game? Put J.C. Horn on Olave, which, by the way, last year when he faced him, he had 1 reception in week 1. I don't think J.C. Horn played the next game in week 9. But why would you not just go ahead and stick J.C. Horn on Chris Olave and force Tyler Shuck to look elsewhere, especially now that Rashid Shaheed is no longer a deep threat, right? That's what I would do. So I'm going to go under 60.5 on Olave, and I like same-game parlays like this. Of course, you guys can put whatever spin you'd like on it. However, I want to take the over, and this is going to sound gross, but the over on 18.5 receiving yards for Brandon Cooks. Why not? Juwan Johnson's receiving yard prop is too high for me. I don't feel super comfortable there. Devon Vele didn't have a single target last week. He should see an uptick in opportunities, but you know, Brandon Cooks has kind of been just a steadfast guy there. He's out on the field each and every week playing 60, 70, 80% of snaps. Can we get him above 18.5, especially if I'm right and J.C. Horn ends up spending the bulk of his day on Chris Olave? I think we can. So that gets us to a decent number, but now we're going to bump it up to plus 500. And we're going to go with Rico Dowdle anytime touchdown. Now, this sounds like chalk, I know. But at minus 145, those are decent enough odds to me, man. He can do it through the air. He can do it on the ground. I honestly thought Rico Dowdle's touchdown prop odds would be much shorter than they are. So I start digging in, like, because I've seen the Saints stop the Bucs 8 times at the goal line a couple weeks ago. They've still allowed 7 rushing touchdowns to opposing running backs this season. They've given up pretty significant yardage. And the overwhelming amount of volume that Rico Dowdle should see here, knowing that in this same game parlay can get us to 5-1, I'm all about it, man. Bet365 had the best odds last I looked. And if you want an idea of why I call this the perfect parlay, it's not because I'm delusional and think I'm actually building the perfect parlay, because I'm trying to give you guys spots where I know the odds are better than they are elsewhere. Now, maybe they turn and they get better elsewhere, but as of now, Bet365 offering this. Not only are you getting Brandon Cooks at 18.5. On FanDuel, he's 20.5. Not only are you getting Chris Olave under 60.5, where he's at 58.5 on FanDuel, but even when you combine the three, FanDuel is giving you plus 460 and Bet365 is giving you plus 500. So shop the odds no matter where it is. Make sure you're getting the best there. Let's see what we can do with this one. Now let's take it to the ladder play. All right, I mentioned to you guys before, like, ladder plays are very fun. You just have to structure them wisely, right? So if you were betting a minus 110 on a standard prop, you'd bet a 110 if that's a unit, 110 to win a unit, to win 100, right? So in this case, if it's a minus 110, I'm going to take that 110 and I'm going to structure it to spend all of that across the rungs, up the rungs of the ladder. And we're going to do it with Drake May. What? Yes, Drake May. We started at 28.5. And like I said, dude, we hit a 10-1 on Addison. We hit 2 of the 4 on Jameson Williams. We profited there. We profited big on Jalen Noel 2 weeks ago. By the way, all of my picks are over on Tails. Links in the description. Or download the Tails app and just search me at Loughy, Loughy. You find me there. Tail me, follow me, turn on notifications. I post all of these bets here from my Tuesday video, Thursday video, and all the bets you'll never find here on YouTube over on Tails. And they always go there first before the lines ever move. Like this Nico Collins, whether it wins or not is unimportant. I posted it at 56.5. It's at 62.5 now. I just want to give you guys the value where I can. And all of my picks there are free all season long. You just got to create a free account within the Tails app or with the link in the description. Anyway, Drake May actually is interesting to me this week for a number of reasons. 28.5, not bad, right? 28.5 rushing yards. I mean, he had a 50 spot and a 60-plus rushing yard game in back-to-back weeks just 2 and 3 weeks ago, respectively. But also, you have no Ramondre Stevenson. He's already been ruled out. And Travion Henderson's been mediocre at best. But the run game, particularly in the backfield for the Patriots, has not performed well this year at all. Who's a tough team to run against, particularly up the middle if you're a running back? The Tampa Bay Bucs. But who's allowed the 7th most rushing yards to opposing quarterbacks? Oh, also the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not only that, but Kayshon Boutte's out as well. Dude, this guy has 10 deep targets on the season, 9 receptions for almost 300 yards and 5 touchdowns, just on deep targets. He's actually a significant loss here. So you've got still Stephon Diggs, Demario Douglas, Hunter Henry, Henderson in whatever capacity he's used. But I think this is the type of spot where the Patriots are not big favorites here. They're not expected to blow teams out, where they're actually short road dogs. I think you could see Drake May running quite a bit in this one and snap off a few big runs. So we're going to ladder him up to 50 yards at plus 320. Find the best odds if you can. The books that are available to me, Bet365 again was the one. As always, $200 in bonus bets with a $10 deposit, $5 bet if you're not there and it's in your state. I always put the link in the description for you guys. Got to be 21 years or older to gamble. If you have a problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER, but make sure you do it. Anyway, I look at this and I say we can get the 50 plus at plus 320 against a team that allows a lot of rushing yards to quarterbacks. For a quarterback on a team that doesn't have a good ground game, where he's going to get pressure and he's going to need to run, where he's down one of his top wide receivers and he's a short road dog, I like it. I'm willing to take that. You guys let me know what you think about that in the description. If you have any ladder plays, I'm always all ears. I'll even feature them in the video if they end up hitting next week and they make some sense to me, no doubt about it. All right, our third and final one is going to be the boost around the world. You guys know we do a 3-leg parlay, maybe more some days. We're going to go a ladder and then we do the boost if we have one available to us. Well, the boost around the world on FanDuel is back. Last time we took Devontae Adams with no Puka Nacua. We boosted it to plus money. We got the win. This is the next London game, or sorry, Germany game, but overseas game that we've had since I started doing this video. We got a 30% anytime touchdown boost on FanDuel. When you guys get boost, take advantage of them because you're taking a bad bet, making it good, or a good bet and making it better. There is no way to lose long term. I mean, there's always a way to lose long term, but you're going to lose a whole lot less when you're boosting them. I'm going to go Tyler Warren. You're getting it from plus 155, which is already essentially the standard across the industry. He's like painted 155, 160 across all of these books. I want that, and we're going to boost it to plus 205. He leads the team, the Colts, in red zone targets. He already has 12 red zone targets on the season. Leads the Colts in targets inside the 10 with 7 and inside the 5. Of course, you could go Jonathan Taylor, but who wants to take a minus 320? Give me an already plus money on Tyler Warren, who has been integral in the red zone and Daniel Jones' favorite target once they get inside the 20. And why not boost this north of 2-1? Those are the 3 plays this week. Same game parlay, Carolina, New Orleans. That should be fun. Let's take an ugly game and make it better. We've got the rushing yards ladder up to 50 on Drake May and the anytime touchdown 30% Germany boost on Tyler Warren. Appreciate you guys hanging out as always. I'll see you over there on Tails with all of those free bets every single day of the week. And of course, we'll catch you back here for the next one. Bye-bye.